Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Second Row Podcast. Today we were supposed to have Kendall Marie in here, the Juice Box Kid, and we were going to try to chat with her for a little while. Unfortunately, we don't know if it's technical difficulties, what it might be going on over as far as on the northwest coast around Washington, but we do not have Kendall Marie at this time. However, I have sent out the link to another official that is going to pop on with me here in a few minutes. But first, let's roll the credits and give the pops where they're due. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a professional wrestler, I encourage you seek out a creditable school with creditable trainers, the whole 9 yards, because you're not going to get in the backyard what you're going to get from there. So if you want to become a pro wrestler, please seek out, a school that's going to get you where you want, get you back out of the professional wrestling business, what you want, and move forward that way. Ultimately, the Bumps and Bruises has two different schools. Uh, this through the OIWA wrestling organization. 1469 in Carrollton, Texas, and 1501 in Sherwood, Arkansas. Also, we want to give a shout out to our boy Daniel Stubblefield up at Boston Mountain Brewer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get your drink on, I encourage you to give this guy a holler. He's got your bulk orders also as well. All different flavors, all different kinds. Really good people up that way. We also want to give a shout out to another pro wrestling school that if you're not in the Carrollton, Dallas area and you're further south and west from the Dallas, Carrollton area, uh, Dog Pound Dojo under Rodney Mack and Jazz, that can also get you hooked up. There's other schools around, guys, that are very credible. OVW, Monster Factory. There's so many different, wrestling organizations that house great training schools, and you just need to look them up, man, and find out where you're going with it, what you want to get back out of it, the whole 9 yards. If you look over the far left hand corner, you're going to see a little imprint there, man. Dude standing there like that, got a crown on top of his head, got a cape on. We call it Crazy Mo. Shoot Bobby Horn a message, y'all. See if you can get that print on a picture, a T-shirt, something. As far as where that's concerned, man, I think that's a big support issue that we're missing out on. We also want to thank our boy Trey Mack up at Offshoots TV. Hey Trey, keep killing it like you're doing, brother. Uh, we'll keep doing what we're doing, man. We're gonna cross paths again. We'll see you soon. Now, again, unfortunately, uh, we don't have Kendall Marie today, and that's kind of upsetting because I was really looking forward to talking to her. Been a long time, and she's done a lot of really, really good things in professional wrestling, going from one extreme to another. And hopefully down the road we can reschedule that and talk with her again. And maybe we will get to accomplish that hopefully soon. I also today reached out to another official, one that also works with me at Diamond State, Mr. Kenny Resin, hoping that he will be able to get on with us here in just a minute after he makes this next stop. Uh, if you're if you're a fan of pro wrestling, like some of us are, uh, there's many different aspects to the word pro wrestling, and for a lot of guys and girls that are trying to come into this business at this time, we have been bringing these guys and girls onto the Second Row podcast to kind of help y'all get the information somewhat of what you need that you may not be getting at your school or whatever the case may be that will help furlough you and get you further in. That will possibly give you a leg up on the competition, so to speak. If you're listening and watching these podcasts, man, you're going to pick up on a lot of it. But if you're not, there you go. That's on you, not on anybody else. You have to make that decision. Not sure if Kenny's even going to be able to make it in with us. Not sure how long that's going to take him to take care of it, but uh, hopefully he'll be in within the next few minutes. Now, the there's some shows coming up. Uh, September 16th, over in Forest City, Southern Extreme Wrestling is having a show over there. Starts 7 o'clock, I do believe. So, uh, giving a shout out to you guys and girls right now over Southern Extreme Wrestling. Man, y'all go out there and kill it like you always do, and leave it in the ring. Just leave it in the ring. That's all that needs to be said in that, because that's what's going on. Sword Championship Wrestling, my boys and girls, man, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Y'all are doing an amazing job. You've got amazing coaches behind you, mentors, owners, operators of Sword Championship Wrestling, and they're there to back you. That's their job. So, and over at Chaotic Kingdom under Jason Maldonado, uh, y'all just keep killing it over there at that location as well, because Bumps and Bruises, man, putting out a lot of great talent right now, and it shows, after a few shows, and we're starting to see it come around. So y'all go out and support independent wrestling, just like you would going to uh, a WWE show or an AEW show or ROH show, Impact. It doesn't matter. Go out and support independent pro wrestling, because regardless of what you think about the big stages, uh, a lot of those guys and girls that are on the big stages right now went through some independent level somewhere. And without them doing that, I'm sure a lot of folks would have not been able to get to where they are now without that first adjustment of experience that they need. So go out and support independent pro wrestling, man. You're going to see great shows. You're going to see great talent. Uh, you just need to choose where you're going to go watch it, okay? Pretty much. So, as far as that goes, man, guys, it's been a crazy day for us. Uh, we didn't know if we were even going to be able to make it on here today, with the internet the way it was acting earlier. So it was kind of a flip flop whether we were going to be here or not. But it's not our internet that we think we needed to worry about, other than Kendall Marie's. Uh, Also, I've got some other uh, messages sent out to some other top athletes in the world of professional wrestling that are going to be coming on as specials and set up as stages also. I've got some more setups with a lot of the trainees and other stars from the OIWA organization that will be coming in also. Uh, uh, it's going to be a great rest of year, especially for professional wrestling, because things are really looking up right now. Uh, Job Session, welcome in, man. One of our sponsors, Job Sessions. You can go like them on Facebook and follow their page, man. They come up with a lot of good stuff there at that place. Great podcast between Tim and Paul. So if y'all ever get a chance to check those guys out, go check them out also. Uh, I've had you mention on every podcast about critical schools. What qualifies as aspects you should concern yourself with when looking at schools? Well, when looking at a school that you want to make sure that you're going to get back out of this, what you are putting into it. First and foremost, you just like what we say, school, right? So you need to do your homework, okay? And what I mean by that is you want the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, so you need to seek out and look at a lot of the schools that are around. Number one, you need to see what best fits academically wise, not just the athletic side of it, because you're going to be doing a lot of that motion yourself. But academically wise, does a lot of that company line up with you, and do you line up with that company? That is the best answer I can give you as far as wanting to find a credible school to go to wrestling at, because not everybody is. This is not for everybody. Okay, it just, I mean, that's the life of it. It's just not for everybody, and a lot of guys don't learn, though they think they are learning. They try to call themselves a pro wrestler when they're not. Things of that nature that we see around the independent scene that really can hurt a lot of greater talent on said shows, and a lot of greater shows, because once somebody goes and visits a mud show, they really don't want to pay their money to go see another show. And there we are, the guys that are actually going out there and putting on great shows, saying, support independent pro wrestling, support it. And not every show is going to be good, man. Not every show that you get to go to is going to be good. Not every talent that's on the show is going to be good. They're inclined to make mistakes, because that's just part of the nature. You're in front of a live audience, and that's just something you have to deal with. As far as like the podcast goes, we talk about promo 101, and whether you can go or not go as far as being in front of a camera, like what we are right now shooting a live show. If I mess up, y'all hear it and y'all see it. But if I mess up and then I covered up all in the same motion and you never noticed it, that's what made it different. And a lot of guys that are in pro wrestling that learn about doing promos and things like that are going to see that. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, so, he actually knows what he's doing. No, I didn't say I knew what I was doing. Okay, let's get that out of the way first and foremost, because not necessarily saying I do, because I haven't been doing this but a couple of months now, though we've been doing pretty good. I'm just going to say that, we're in the over the 4,000 follower mark now, comment, shares, things of that nature, and we've now moved into YouTube. We've also moved into Twitter. Though Twitter tried to give us a fit our last podcast about how we were uploading, and so did YouTube, because they thought we were fake, because we were putting so many videos up all at one time. And which I guess that's just part of it. They want to know that you're real. Where's all this, content coming from that nobody's seen or heard from? So yeah, there you are with that. If I don't get Kenny on here in the next couple of minutes, we're going to go ahead and close this edition of the Second Row podcast out, because we don't know if we're going to be able to get anybody on or not. And I don't want to try to just pull anybody in that may or may not be able to take it at the last second. That's kind of bad business. So, excuse me. So I'm not going to try to do that, because I'm not that guy to try to put people on the spot like that. So, as far as nope, nothing yet. Okay. I thought we might have had something, but we didn't. All right. So as far as that goes, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you want to be a professional wrestler, I encourage you to seek out a creditable school, something that you know that you could possibly get out of what you're trying to put in. And in order to be anything, go anywhere, do anything that has a part of professional wrestling, I encourage you young guys to sit down with the vets in the locker room to talk to them. I also encourage you to listen. Don't open your mouth. Listen. Don't act like you know what you're doing, because that's a bad deal. These vets that are around the business right now are going to look at you and say, okay, you want to go into this business by yourself and for yourself. So, I'm done. I'm not saying anything else, and you will get that, and you'll wonder why, and I'm telling you now, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so just as that goes, uh, as Java says, I've heard you talk about Memphis style wrestling. Can you share more about the style of wrestling? Well, now let me. Yeah, Kenny's just now popping in. It's good to see Kenny. And Kenny, we're talking about Memphis wrestling. If you will, please welcome in Diamond State official Kenny Rez. And Kenny, welcome in today, man, on Second Row Podcast, bud. What's up with you, man? I'm not sure he can hear us. Probably not. Anyway, so as far as Memphis style wrestling goes, there's so many different variations and styles of wrestling that are around the United States. Uh, Memphis has its own style. Tennessee has its own style. Mississippi has its own style. Arkansas has its own style. Texas has its own style. Anywhere you go, any state in the United States that houses professional wrestling has its own style of wrestling. That's just the state. That's just how they do their thing. 9 times out of 10, that's how you're going to get it. All right, can you hear us now, Kenny?
I can hear you now.
All right, awesome, dude. Yeah, we were talking about Memphis wrestling just now, man. And what was some of the different styles and what is the Memphis style like? And I was explaining to them, the Memphis style is, and looky here, who I just had
Is that
pop in on my damn podcast. That no good Podfather himself. Welcome
No
in,
good.
Trey Mack.
Okay. Hey, I didn't get a chance to talk to you after the last show, after the last source show that was. Let me ask you a question. As a referee
Okay.
in a tag team gauntlet match,
Uh-huh.
do you have any idea how many tag teams are supposed to be showing up for the match?
No. Actually,
You have no
I
idea.
do not.
You have no
No,
idea.
what my job is? My job is to make sure that the winner actually wins. Okay, I'm not sure.
We won three different times.
Hold on. I'm not sure if you have been, and Kenny, you're gonna like this one. I'm not sure if you've been in wrestling long enough, son, to understand that a referee or an official or a super official, as I like to call them, okay, superficial, has any clue other than standing in the closet not being told anything. See, that's been the norm that a lot of people have associated officials with. That they're in the closet, they don't know nothing, right? That's our job. We're not supposed to know nothing. What we're supposed to do? Supposed to count to 3, correct?
how do you call it down the middle if you know shit?
I mean, you're supposed
You
to
did
count
that
to 3.
3 times.
Okay. All right. So as far as me knowing how many tag teams were to show up at Tag Team Turmoil, no, I did not have a clue.
You didn't have it.
Okay,
So you went into the match. I'm like, you're right. You're right.
But
I like how you said the word superficial.
I am told through my earpieces we're not done. So when I'm told through my earpiece that we're not done,
to the wonderful earpiece.
I'm going to sit back and I'm going to go, okay, we're not done. Okay, we're going to sit here and we're going to keep working this just like this because this is what the boss is telling me to do. Now,
of course he is.
You hold on. So do you do you trade? Do you sign my paycheck? No, you do not. You do not sign my paycheck. So let's get that just clear and out of the way. Okay. So you have your own little networking of guys there, so to speak, and you're the Podfather. You lead them. I have a question for you. If you entered yourself into Tag Team Turmoil, how come you did not know how many tag teams were you going to be facing?
You know what? To my understanding, until the last team came out, that was not even a team backstage, because one of them actually had a match earlier in the night when once again, the man who signed your paycheck is sitting there going, "We got to keep sending more out there. We can't make sure the network doesn't get the OIW Tag Team
So
Championship."
wait a minute. You think the owner of the company has something against the Podfather and his boys?
Oh, very much so. This has been a
You do.
conspiracy since.
Kenny, let me ask you a question. Do you think that any owner, operator, or booker has anything against any one said athletic talent that he has in his locker room enough to, I don't know, just keep sending fire after fire after fire after fire out the door, man, to see if this guy's gonna catch on fire or not?
Man, so there's been one example of that in history that I can tell you. And ain't nobody trying to be Mr. McMahon no more. People are trying to actually run their business and run it right.
There you go. So again, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Podfather, and I see you sitting there in the dark, man, because evidently you're still upset about losing, all of those matches that you supposedly thought that you won, because people just kept coming out the curtain on you.
First
because
of all,
you only lost once. That was all
right.
to it.
Yeah, only lost once. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I knew the tag teams that were back there. I knew the position that we drew. We drew in the middle. So we got through a DQ finish that Justin James just couldn't keep control of himself on. We escaped that clearly. We defeated, I guess, a luchador and whoever the hell his tag team partner was. So we knew there were 5 teams. We knew there were 5 teams that were in this thing. Then in comes the magical number 6. And the 6th team comes in. One man's already had a title match earlier in the night and lost, by the way. Look, this is nothing more than a conspiracy between Sword Championship Wrestling and that Vaughn Enterprises crap that's going around there, because they're going to do everything that Sir Mo and all of them want them to do for him just to appease him. Because we have been making waves for almost a year, and you know this. We've been making waves for almost a year, giving headaches after headaches after headaches to everybody, including you. And now here it is. We win the match fair and square. And where's our titles? Oh, let's go ahead and give it to someone who's actually had a match earlier today and a tag team partner who doesn't even get along with them that well.
So let me ask a question. All right, because I'm not in that pool of the tag teams that were in tag team turmoil. Did y'all throw names in a hat and draw out?
So I can't disclose how we drew the number that we drew. We should have went. First of all, we were the Sword Tag Team Champions. We should have been drawing the last ones in there.
If you can't disclose it, then you know how many tag teams were in the tournament, correct? Then
No.
Am I correct in saying that?
You
just told me. Wait a minute. You
want me to answer the question? I'll answer the question.
You just told me you could not disclose how many teams were in it.
You also just a few minutes ago said that there were 5 teams that you knew about.
Hold on. Let this fire build, because I'm getting somewhere with this.
Okay. I was under the impression that there was going to be 5 teams. The network's team and 4 other teams that would follow.
Okay.
We all put our names in a hat, or however they want to draw it, and they said, okay, this is your position. This is where you're going to come out at. As being the Sword Tag Team Champions, why we didn't come out last, I have no clue. Because, once again, in over almost a year, no one has beaten us for those titles. Now, clearly, I've had to mend some things over with Gabe a little bit and, change the game up for the network a little bit. But either way you look at it, we were still representing the network, and we were still representing the tag team champions. That Sword had, and now apparently doesn't have anymore. So,
okay. Keep talking. I'm listening. Keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking. I'm listening.
Kenny, you don't really listen to his crap, are you? You don't really listen to him? I mean, come on. You have no answer for that, do you?
I'll be honest with you. I'm hearing a lot of excuses. Like I wasn't there. I didn't work that night, so I can't tell you what went down. All I know is what I'm hearing from y'all two, and what it sounded like. It's a whole lot of excuses.
Yeah,
So
on his part, because because
the
because
question hasn't been answered, though.
as Joey
How
said,
many
as Joey
how
said,
many tag teams did you sign a contract with?
did I sign a
That's
contract?
the
What?
question. Yes, because you had to know how many people were in that tag team turmoil.
I signed with the 4 that were there. That's what I did know. Now the
You
fact
signed
that there
with four,
was
but you did not be disclosed into the information as far as how many tag teams were actually going to be in that turmoil match.
I came in there. I said, okay, we're the Sword Tag Team Champions. Who are we? Who is going to be in this tag team turmoil match that we have to watch out for? They said there's going to be 4 teams. I said, fine, we'll deal with it as we go.
Let me
How
ask
comes
you,
team number 5?
were they telling you to watch out for the 4 teams that you might could lose to?
You know, once again, this is just you, as you pointed out, the man who signed your paycheck, the man who made all this possible for you, is the man that has put all this nonsense together for the network and is not like, hey, look, they're still pissed that the future was with us for a few months, okay? They're still pissed about that. And they
Hey, I
should
have a
be
question,
because.
Okay,
Did,
tell us
did,
the question.
did you read the contract? Do you know for a fact there's only supposed to be 4 other teams besides
I read
yours?
everything. I read everything that was put in front of me. That's the problem. Everything that was put in front of me. What they don't put in front of me is a whole different story. You okay, Joey? I know COVID season's still going around, sir. Are you gonna make it all right?
No, my heart was breaking for you. You know.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're really heartbroken over all this stuff because clearly,
I am.
as I pointed out before, you were in the pockets of the promoter. You said he signed your paycheck. Clearly, I see where this is going.
I did
You
not.
just said
That
it
was not
yourself.
me.
Kenny, did he just say to himself
Wait a
that the
minute.
man signs his paycheck?
Kenny,
Who signed your
tell me,
paychecks?
hang
Nobody
on, Kenny.
pays me.
You're right. You're exactly right, Kenny. But hang on. So I never said anything about being in the pocket of anybody. I never said anything about anybody's pocket. I said I fall under the code of the man that signs my check, which you do as
Which
well.
could be interpreted in different ways, sir. You know that.
Okay, so tell me how this is interpreted then. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got something for you. Hold on.
Well, you gotta get that fixed.
Okay. My eyes will quit watering once you quit boohooing. So tell me how. I know Kenny, right? So tell me how this falls under a different code.
You talking to me or
you don't
Kenny?
have an answer for that.
I know you're talking to me or Kenny. I'm sorry. What was your question?
No,
again?
I was talking to you. I was
Okay,
talking to you to begin with. Remember, Kenny's not the one crying over here.
Okay, well, I thought
Kenny-
you mentioned
Kenny-
his name. That's why I wasn't
See,
sure about that.
Kenny's that kind of referee that if
Oh,
you
you're a
give
referee
him-
too, Kenny? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, he is.
I bet you're a better one than Joey.
Oh, do you think? You know what?
Well, I would know. I wouldn't know. He never comes to Dallas. So
I
I don't
would
know.
gladly give Kenny that title, but Kenny's got to be able to lace up my shoes first. Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
There. Okay. So, and that goes for you too, Podfather. I would gladly give you a title, something similar to that, but you would have to be able to lace up my shoes first. And I promise you,
I got people.
and
for
I
that, sir.
promise you, there's not a roll of tissue anywhere that's going to stop you from crying when I tell you cannot lace up my shoes, young man.
Once again, I'm the Podfather. I have people for that, sir. I don't have to do that for anybody.
I mean, still, I'm still trying to figure out who the Podfather is, so to speak. If you want me to be technical about it, and what I mean by who is the Podfather, let me enlighten you on something there, young man. Let me talk to you, yeah. Okay, all right. So here's how we determine this. Okay, so are you a pod of like bees? Are you a pot of
Whales.
stew? Are you a pod of? Say it again, Kenny. What'd you say?
Whales. A pot
Yeah,
of
there you
whales.
Yes, a pot of whales. Okay. How about a pot of just a pod? Okay. Let's just find out who Trey Mack is, because here's the reality of that. When this show started and it came on the air today, there, young man, one of the first things out of my mouth was I showed appreciation where it should be, as far as offshoots TV goes.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome for that. And then to have you come in, and I'll have a talk with the person that let you in. I'll have a talk with him later on, because I don't believe in none of that. Okay, I just don't believe in that. If you're gonna come in and hijack my podcast, expect the unexpected from me. Okay,
Okay.
because I'm a whole different caliber of podcaster. I haven't been doing this for 2 months, so understand the mentality is fair. Let's throw fists first. That's the mentality, and then we'll worry about everything else later. Who could talk better or whatever case that might be. But I want to get back to the situation at hand right now. You're still telling me that you did not know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, of how many teams that you were signing a contract against that night for tag team turmoil.
Well, okay, I'll answer that with the
Because all tag teams would have had to been on that contract.
Okay, let me answer that by asking you a quick question.
Okay.
After Justin James and his partner Spig said got eliminated because they got disqualification, or we got disqualified, did I head over to the belts and throw them back in the ring because I thought that was it? Did I do that? Yes, I did.
You did. You threw
And you stopped me. You said,
and
you
it's
said,
a little bit of that premature thing.
your words were, no, there's one more tag team. I said, okay, fair enough. One more tag team.
Yeah.
Out comes the tag team. We got rid of them. I go back over to the belts. I throw them back in the ring because by you telling me there was one more tag team, that means there was one more tag team. And then we wait 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, out comes Big Jace and D'Anthony Price. A team that was not listed in the list of tag teams that we had to face that night. Here they come, and you let it happen. Because you're looking over there, you're looking over at Sir Mo, you're looking over at Denise, you're looking at the people who are paying you paying your paychecks, and you're going, okay, let's let it go on. And you know that my team has been destroyed at this point. I mean, poor Luke has been gone. He's gone through hell and high water, going through the two big guys earlier. Big Gabe, he's already had enough to go through that night. Now here you are saying, no, what's one more? One more? Let's surprise the crowd, right? So here they come out there. They get rid of us. Fine, you know what? Kudos to them, okay? Because honestly, to be honest with you, if we were in the same situation, if we had the promotions back on this whole thing, I'm sure we would be saying the same thing they're saying about us. So you know what? Good for them. I'm glad they took advantage of the opportunity. I'm just asking you as a referee, did you know? That's all I'm asking. Did you know that they were back there waiting?
Did I know they were back there waiting? No. Again, no.
So when you told me
more match, I have an earpiece. I had this earpiece thing that fits in my ear over here, and it's directly related and signed with the guys that run the backstage show, right? And I'm told in this earpiece from time to time where we are as far as minute-wise, going to commercial, whatever the case may be, as far as where that is concerned. And when they say, okay, there's another, you say one more. The first time I said, no, there's another. And then after you beat those guys, and then you went back to the belt, I told you there was one more. Because that's what was being relayed into my ear. But you're still telling me that you did not know that this was on that contract that you signed. Did you just overlook the self-made men?
They weren't on the contract when I signed it.
Okay, so you weren't prepared for the self-made. Okay, all right, so I've got it. That makes sense to me now. Okay, and not being prepared, hey, man, not everybody are winners, okay? And you proved that night, Saturday, that y'all just weren't the winners, and I'm okay with that, and I'm sure that Jace and D'Anthony Price, they're okay with that
First
too.
First of all, let me point something out to you. Ryan Branch has been with Sword Championship Wrestling for almost a year.
Okay.
He's been fed to the network over and over and over, and we have, disposed of him every time. He has since joined the network. Guess what he got this past Saturday night? His first ever win. Okay? That makes his 1-0. Later on, we have a fatal four-way match. By the way, the contract that was signed was a one-on-one, man versus Elijah for the Sword Junior Heavyweight Championship. Instead, Sword decides, hey, let's throw in Elijah Saint, who's title hungry and is part of the network. Let's throw him on there because you know that he's won some of that. And you know what? Let's bring in Luke Justice. Well, I reached out to Luke Justice when I heard that out. And I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And he's now part of the network. So, once again, they tried to get the best on us. Either way you look at it, Elijah got the 1, 2, 3. We are 2-0. We go on to the tag team match. We go through one team. We go through a second team. I'm thinking that's it. That's 5 teams. We're done. Now, all of a sudden,
here come team and then go through the second team. That would make y'all team number 3.
We were team number 3. There were 2 teams that came out after us.
I know, Kenny. I'm trying to follow along as well as you are. Excuse me. I'm sorry there, Trey. Kenny made a valid point. We were counting along with you, which that makes us very legit in our business as far as officials go, that we can count because he was going just the same way I was going. That makes 3. That doesn't make 5. We weren't understanding your concept of how this becomes this. I mean, we're lost right now. Which
there were 2 teams that started off. There were 2. Okay,
we're supposed to be in closets. We don't know nothing.
I'll say, Kenny, just so I can help you out, sir. There were 2 teams that started. Okay, one team got eliminated. Then we came out. We were the 3rd team. I was told that there was going to be 5 teams in the tag team turmoil match. The next, after we defeated whoever was in the ring, out came the Guerrilla Militia. We disposed of them by ways of them getting themselves disqualified. Then the next team came out. We defeated them.
You didn't dispose
That's
of them.
it.
You got lucky.
Either way, a win's a win. A win's a win, all right? So we pushed forward, okay? And we moved on to the next team. We defeated them. That's 5 teams. That's 5 teams. The first 2 that started, then us, then the other 2. That's 5. I'm glad I can help you people in Arkansas with the math here. So, anyway, look, I feel dumber being up here in Oklahoma. Trust me, you have no idea. So, here's the thing.
You heard that, Kenny, right? You
did.
Kenny, I'm sorry that and again, I'll have a talk with my tech guy later on about bringing in some.
Hey, leave that guy alone. That guy did a great job.
He did, huh? How did he do a great job?
Well, because I reached out when I saw you had your show. I said, you know what?
No, you know what? He did do a great job. Let me tell you what he did. I keep cutting you off, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do. You really do. It's really pissed off the Podfather.
You just hold on for a second. See, this is Joy Day. See, I was supposed to have a young lady on here today, man. It was another official. Now she's a pro wrestler. She goes by the Juice Box Kid, Kendall Marie. A very, very good, fluent official that I want to talk to.
I know she is. I'm a big fan.
Nobody asked you anything right now. Okay? So, let me tell you what the tech guy did. He brought you on to get embarrassed by me. That's what he did.
Okay.
See, this is how you get brought on and get embarrassed by a guy who's not embarrassed. Okay. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. You did not know that the self-made men were on that contract.
No quote.
Because right now that is just not making any sense whatsoever.
Did you know they were on the contract?
If you signed the contract, no. What did I tell you to begin with? We don't know who's on it. I didn't even know y'all were on there.
I didn't know, and you didn't know.
Okay, so then what's your complaint?
So my complaint
is either win or go home. And guess what?
And we were winning, and then all of a sudden they send us home.
Yeah, let me put my backpack on.
Here's the difference in that scenario. We don't have to know how many teams are in there. We just have to know that we have to count to 3 until the boss man says, "Hey, that's it. There's no more."
But once you know to ring the bell and cue the music,
you're the one that has to read the contract that you're signing for your guys to actually have to fight, have to wrestle. We just got to count to 3.
I've already mentioned I signed the contract. the teams that were in the match that I knew originally were in the match. I had no idea the self-made men were in the match because, as far as I knew, they still weren't a team because of the dissension in the Vaughn Enterprises group. So I didn't know that. So,
Well, you know,
and then of course, Big Jace gets on the microphone at the end of the match and calls me out pretty much and says for me to shut my mouth, which I will never freaking do. And then he goes on and says, Bobby Horn told us we were a team that can go anywhere. Okay, well, there's another hint right there that this is what he wanted. And now all of a sudden, we're the tag team champions. We're going to defend the title anywhere. You know what? I get it, all right? Everything that Sora's done has done their way to push us out of any type of limelight we would have. So maybe the Podfather needs to go back and regroup a little bit. Maybe I do.
Didn't you earlier mention that Sora put one of your guys into a championship match for the junior heavyweight title that he wasn't supposed to be in? Did you say that earlier?
But here's the thing: they know that Elijah Saint can possibly be a shit stirrer in our group, and he can definitely ruffle the feathers. It ain't gonna happen because once again, look what happened. Elijah won't walk away with the title. Elijah Saint's gonna get his title match. There's no question about it. He earned every shot of that. Just not right now because other contracts are signed for future title matches with Elijah and whoever he's taking on. So for the company to sit there and just throw Elijah Saint and Luke Justice of all people into a match, which by the way, Elijah and Luke Justice have never beaten Elijah for any type of match before, so they didn't really earn. The only person really earned a real shot at it would be Elijah Saint, but he was not the man that was in the running for that title that night. It was Man because Man actually pinned Elijah the last show in a non-title match. So we're just going by the rules here, folks. We're just going by the rules.
Going by the rules. If you're going by the rules, then let me ask this question. You said Luke Justice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you say Luke Justice, but you talked bad about Arkansas a while ago, and Luke Justice is in Arkansas. So you're telling me that you inbred Texas hillbillies cannot not only read a simple contract, but you cannot understand a contract's right. That's what you're telling me.
First of all, no.
If you did,
that's not what I'm saying. All right.
I'm saying that if you did understand it, and that wasn't what you were saying, and then why are we having this conversation? Because now your point becomes invalid. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand from your perspective where you're coming from as far as where this tag team turmoil match did not work out in y'all's favor. You thought there were only 5 teams, but they wound up being 6. Okay, y'all went through. Well, y'all didn't beat the other 2 by yourselves. Somebody else beat them. You just happened to beat the other 2.
Well, one team beat the other team, then we came out. So we didn't go through all 5 teams clearly, or all 4 teams. We went through 4 of them.
No, you.
So
okay. I just woke up. My math is off here.
I can see that.
We went through 3 of them. Okay, you're right. Okay.
All right. So now that we're it's at 30.
Listen, I've had some sleepless nights over this. Okay,
but you might not. Okay.
I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm just saying I haven't slept in days here. Okay.
Okay. It's really bothered you that bad, Kenny? If you really let something bother you that bad, are you or are you not going to get rest over that?
I'm going to sleep on it, and then I'm going to come at it and solve the problem.
Well, that
with a level head.
That tells you how serious I take this.
All right. I'm glad me and you're on the same page, but I think this Texas Hillbilly is a little lost right now. Maybe his horns. There we go. His horns, aren't so wide. They're more like this because he's crying right now, and I'm running out of tissue, and I don't want to feel so bad for him that I'm going to sit here and cry with him because I don't think that is necessary. I think what is necessary right now at this point in time is for Trey Mack, the Podfather, if you will. I think that he should contact Bobby Horn and discuss and air out this grievance with Bobby instead of coming at the official who is the head official for this company that goes out there night in and night out and proves just what I said earlier, that you can't tie my shoestring. So I'm going to leave that at that, but now I want to get back to the contract signing because I'm still kind of confused here on this. Kenny, let me ask you a question. You go to sign a contract. You go in. Do you look at the fine print on the contract? Do you see whether it's stamped by a notary? What are you looking for in that contract that's going to make you go, okay, all right, I'm signing this contract?
That all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, and it is as it was advertised.
Okay.
That's the big thing. If they tell you it's this, it better be this, or I ain't signing it.
Okay. All right. So, again, Trey Mack, you did not know that the self-made men were on that contract when you signed it for your guys to go in for this tag team tournament and try to win these tag team titles that are, by the way, are probably some of the better tag team titles that I've seen in a long time. Just saying. And I would be upset about that if I was you. Here, do you need to borrow my tissue? Yeah, I would be upset about that if I were you about losing those, because that gold is very pretty and they do stand out. I mean, here you go. I hear you sniffling. I mean, I know COVID's going around your way as well, but I know how you Texas hillbillies are. Y'all think y'all bigger there than anywhere else, and everybody else is, dumb and inbred and everything else. So we just give y'all a little bit back so y'all know where you stand at, okay? Which is not beside us, okay? Not here. But I'm gonna again ask, because you failed to answer the question yet. You told me no.
You kept talking, so I had a chance to really answer. So
you know why? Because I'm making your point for you.
Well, then what's one me? Ask me a question
when
you answer.
Signed that contract, you knew that the self-made men were on it.
No, actually, here's what happened. The other 4 teams that I knew were going to be in the match signed before we did. We were the last team to sign on that contract. It was signed, sealed, delivered right there.
Okay, so there was only 5 spots to sign.
So we at that point our name's going to a hat or however they draw our name. They picked us to be number 3. I'm thinking, okay, we got 2 teams to go through plus 2 that's out there right now. We got this, And of course, I'm dealing with Gabe, who doesn't like Chris right now. So, and I already told Gabe we got that taken care of. Don't worry about that. We definitely accomplished our mission there. So we go through the match, thinking, okay, now, you know what? It's my bad on my part to think after we won the match against the Guerrilla Militia when they got disqualified, I thought we were the champions. My mistake. All right. As you can tell her earlier, my count was a little off. Okay, I'm sorry. But when we won the next match after that, clearly I thought that was it. There were no more teams. Because everything on the contract that I signed had those teams. Now, did the self-made men come in later and sign at the very bottom of that? Maybe. I didn't see it. I wasn't around for that. Because once again, they got me doing commentary as well. So I'm all over the damn place doing commentary, managing guys. I'm nowhere in the back during the entire show. So what goes on in the back is beyond me.
Okay,
and you
just heard what he said, right? What goes on in the back, okay, is way beyond me. You heard what he just said, right? Okay, but he also accused me of knowing the whole setup, right? You heard that.
Saying, you're the one who kept telling me, no, it's not time yet. No, it's not time yet. So I'm like, well,
I
get the earpiece, yeah, because some scrupulous promoter sitting there in the back saying, no, not yet. No, not yet. No, not yet.
This has been a very interesting podcast for today. Didn't know it was going to go out this way. Didn't know it was going to happen this way. Didn't know things were going to go down this way. Kind of like it that way, because I like being put on the spot like this, because that's when
unpredictable.
When I really shine, because I am very unpredictable. Kenny just said that. I'm going to say this to you, Trey. I want you to.
Let's brighten my light up in here real quick. Here we go.
Yeah. Keep it down.
I can only shine how much I can.
Yeah, I'm sure you are a Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
Oh, hell no.
I'm
Oh.
sure you are. Roll tears. I'm just saying.
No,
Roll
I
tears.
don't care for
That's the reason
Alabama.
why you're crying, and I
I
can
don't
get
care
that.
for I don't care for
understand
Alabama.
that.
Hey,
But let me say to
hold on,
you,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. To be honest with you, and I know this is off the subject, I really like what Deion Sanders is doing in Colorado right now because
dude.
he is motivating those kids.
Now look,
And
I want you to understand. Me and you can agree on something right now.
right,
Go ahead, finish it out.
no, I like that he can motivate those kids. Now, granted, he has two of his kids playing for that team. That really helps there as well. But he knows talent when he sees it because he's been that talent. So he knows how to walk that walk. And now he's putting Colorado on the map. Not
Oh,
saying
he
that's
definitely.
nearly what I'm doing with the network, but I'm saying that is that's kind of
Now,
what it's an inspiration to people like me who want to take guys who don't have a fair shot like Colorado and are getting that opportunity. Guys like Branch, guys like Elijah Saint, who will get that opportunity eventually. Yeah,
I've got to commend you on that. That's good.
yeah,
I'll give you that.
I take inspiration from what he's doing in Colorado. Now, granted, he beat my TCU Horned Frogs, which I'm not really that much aligned to them. I just picked them because when they were in the Conference USA
They were in Texas. We already know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but back when they were in some other before they got to the Big 12, they were like the best team in that conference for the longest time. And I'm not a big UT guy. I'm not an OU fan. So I'm not an A&M fan either. So I have
like
no
Oklahoma,
allegiance to that. Not particularly, no. But
Kenny, down the road, brother, I'm gonna have you come back on and we'll do another podcast because me and you've got some things to discuss. But as far as this guy, I want to tell you that that's the one thing that me and you have been able to agree on as of right now is the Colorado deal. With Deion Sanders, man. Deion has went out there, and even though it was just the first game, okay,
he did give up 42 points. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, So I mean, it is their first game. It really doesn't matter about the point spread or anything else. A win is a win, as you said earlier.
An upset's an upset. That was an upset.
Okay? Well, I'm just saying, I don't want to look at the point spread. A win is a win. Okay. I look for Colorado to do good things this year. I just don't know how far deep they'll be able to go. Regardless, if you have two great players on that team, that doesn't make the team. The whole team has to be able to function as a unit.
But they're playing to the level Deion wants them to play.
They are. Right. But to stay behind them and own that train, Deion Sanders will have to do every week, week in, week out, day in, day out, the same thing that you just seen him do last week.
Right. And much like him, I take this really personally, okay? I take what I do very personally. And once again, Joey, I will never say you're a bad referee, okay? I will never say that. I might mess with you a little bit. I might poke fun at you a little bit. And I have that Texas bias towards Arkansas or whatever. Because you know why?
Yeah. Go Hogs! Go Hogs!
Hey, I'm upset that Arkansas left the Southwest Conference. Okay, but I wish Southwest Conference is the whole thing too. So, okay, yeah, it's the other boob. All right, but anyway, having said that, look. At the end of the day, it's what you have told me. It's all about the guy who paid you. That's all I had to hear. Once I heard that. Then I understand that the network will never get that fair opportunity.
You know what? You want
we create yourself.
And if Kenny is on a show, Kenny, if you're on any sort of shows or anything that has to do with like the Podfather, the network, anything like that, brother, I encourage you to come have a chit chat with me before you go out the curtain with them. I think there might be some things that me and you could probably have a really, really good time and laugh about afterwards. So, I mean, yeah. See, that's where you wrestlers have got the assumption that about us referees, we're just over in the closet. Okay, we're over here in the closet, but we're all sitting there and we're conspiring against every one of y'all.
No, I don't think you're conspiring. I don't think you're going out of your way to conspire with me. I think it's that guy in the earpiece who's telling you which way to go on certain things which is really throwing everything off.
He's not telling me which way to go. Certain
I
things.
mean, once
He
again,
tells me what my times are.
all we
He tells
want,
me what my commercials are coming up. He tells me if there's going to be another team coming out the curtain.
which we had no
This
clue
is the
about.
man that I follow. It's not anything to do with a pocket or allowing anything else to happen in the world of professional wrestling with him. That is I go by what I'm hearing that's coming into my ear through that earpiece. And that's something that you need to understand. Because y'all lost, I would just suck it up, Buttercup, and go on about my way and try to win them titles down the road somewhere. I mean, quit crying about it. There's no sense in crying about it now. It's spilt milk and some cat has done come across there and drank it up. Let it go. Get yourself back on the track to go out there and possibly capture those tag team titles from the self-made men. But I'm, you know what? I knocked the shit out of D'Anthony Price this past Saturday night so hard that I cost him a title.
You did, and honestly,
but you know what? If he would have never swung at me, that would have never happened. But it did happen.
I wish you could have heard the commentary on that, because when you took a swing at Anthony Price, the first thing I said was, "That's the first good thing Joey's ever done." So
Really?
clearly, well, I saw that night. Okay, I mean, you've done other good things eventually, but not that night. That was the first good thing I saw you do. Because I think that was like your first match.
Oh, I thought you meant for them because y'all lost to them. Oh, okay. I'm following you now. Yeah. Okay. All right.
We lost later in the night.
I'm trying to cry with you right now, and it just wasn't working for me because I couldn't find out where you were going. You know, you were
all right. Well, anyway, having said that, look, I said what I have to say. You know, you were the man.
Oh,
you were the third. You were the third man in the ring. You were the one that.
Oh no, I was the fifth man in the ring, bud. I was the fifth man in the ring.
Technically,
get it right. Here you are on this losing yourself in these numbers deal again. And again, that tells me that I do not think that you read that contract correctly to see that the self-men were actually signed on that contract.
Yeah,
and if you would have, I think that you would have taken the network at that point in time and regrouped, or I would have been a smart man like I am. I would have took the network and pulled them back and like, look, maybe we need to do this another time. Maybe we don't need to do this in this tag team tournament. Let whoever's going to win it. And then we'll go get them from them after they win it.
But here's the thing.
We know they're not to our level.
Here's the thing.
See, that's what I would have done. But you didn't do that. All you done was go out there.
First of all,
oh, my God, there's 6 teams out here, and I just don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
First of all, when the promotion comes to us and says, we're going to do away with the tag team championships for the SOAR Championship Wrestling, probably because they have no one to beat us. Then they say we're going to have our own OIWA International Tag Team Championship tournament here. It's in a gauntlet match, and we're going to set the rules on that. Okay, whatever. We signed just to be a part of that. Okay? Then when it got down to we were the last team standing until whoever came out later, we're like, that's not an even playing field, folks. That's not an even playing field. That's all we look for. We're all about fair and balanced. We're not Fox. We're looking for actual fair and balanced shit, okay? We want the same opportunities everybody else gets.
Hold on, I'm not trying to cut you off, man. Kenny was trying to speak.
So why would it surprise you that D'Anthony Price would be involved in something like that? Like, do you know who the referee was when he won the SOAR Championship? When he cashed in on Damien Daystar? That was me.
Okay. So,
him taking advantage of an opportunity, if it was wide open on that contract, if there was no set number of teams, as I think is what we've established, if there was no set number of teams, I wouldn't put it past D'Anthony Price to sign on to that. And if I were D'Anthony Price, I would damn sure want somebody like Jay Sosay in my corner.
I don't with me. Listen, okay, Kenny, I understand that me and you are on the same level. Not everybody's smart, brother, okay? I'm just going to say that. You know, some people don't know how to read, or maybe their glasses are, not bifocally, like they need to be. Instead of 4 hours, they have 8 because they got, lenses like this thick.
They got trifocals there, bud.
Yeah. Well, however they want to call it, But as far as that goes, we've let the kid over here that needs some energy, evidently, go to sleep, and I'm really proud of that because now and now only can we actually say anything without his big mouth being run up in it. So, with that being said, oh, you opened your eyes on that one. You know what? Trey Mack came back to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a pro wrestler, I encourage you to get yourself to a credible school because that's where you're going to learn from. They're the trainers, the hosts, the owners, the operators, the promotions, all good sides of these credible schools are going to get what you want back out of the world of professional wrestling that you're trying to put in to get to. I encourage you to check those schools out. One of them being the old IWA 469 and 501 bumps and bruises classes. What was you going to say, Trey?
Can I say real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I might bag on them. I might say a lot of nasty stuff, but let me say something about bumps and bruises. That is a quality school to go learn how to be a professional wrestler. And I'm telling you right now, they offer you something that not a lot of promotions offer you. That's a payment plan. When I first started wrestling back in 1995, Chris Adams wanted $1,500 flat
All
out.
up front.
All up front. And he taught me one thing, to run my ass to death. Okay? And Hindu squats like a mother effer. Okay? So, didn't get the best adequate training out of him as I was going to get back then because things were different back then. But now you have students that are now teachers, people who have worked within the system of that company who are teaching you how to work these particular shows. And I implore any student from Bumps and Bruises, whether it's 469 or the one from Arkansas, 501. Thank you.
501, yeah.
Yeah, I get the area code mixed up. I got five. Dyslexia is a horrible thing. But by all means, go there and learn. Go more than 3 days a week. Go 5. Go 6. Go when they're open. Go, because the more you get in this is not a part-time gig. Like for me, this is it's a full-time thing for me to think about what's going to happen the next month because I'm 48 and not going to be traveling a whole lot of places these days. But these young kids, that's you. Me. I have other responsibilities. But for me, I see these kids who say, "Well, I went twice this week." That ain't enough. You got to go 4. You got to go 5. Go 6 if you can. I know. I was there with Joey when James Beer was at SOAR recently during SOAR Mania 3. And he talked to some of the students. He was asking them, "How many days do you go to the training a week?" There was like 2, 3 times. And James would have us go 5 or 6 times over Chris Adams' school. So by all means, get your licks in. Go as many times as you can. You've already paid for it. Get your money's worth. And then, who knows? When it's all said and done, maybe you are the biggest badass wrestler to come out of Bumps and Bruises, or maybe you need more seasoning. Depends what goes on. But once again, get there. And I can't say enough good things about the company when it comes to that.
That's the best thing I heard come out of your mouth today. I want everybody to know that I've actually got a chance to talk with Kendall Marie, and she's had some things go on today, and they've not been in her favor. I'm going to reschedule Kendall Marie down the road for another podcast. Trey, if you remember her, this is Kelsey Marie Gibson. She was the official at SOAR Mania 2.
Love that kid. She's a good kid. She's Morgan, right?
Yeah, she was the one that worked the match with Austin and Austin Aries and Dante Smiley, dude. Nice. Really, really great. Really, really, really great official. I'm going to get her scheduled back on here for another day. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, again, and Trey said it, thoroughly. There's no other way to say it. If you want to be a professional wrestler, I encourage you, valet, manager, it doesn't matter, official, referee, whatever you want to do, commentator, however, whatever you want to do as far as professional wrestling. seek out a creditable school. You have the Monster Factory, you have Bumps and Bruises, you got the Dog Pound Dojo, you
Oh,
got Booker T.
by the
Yeah.
way, I'm so sorry to cut you off, Joey.
That's fine. That's fine.
Shout out to Dynamo and to Daniel Alejandro for filling in on commentary with me. They did it on their own throughout the second half of the show, but throughout the first part, I had Dynamo with me. He did a fantastic job. He's never done commentary before, and I worked with him personally. I said, "Look, do it like this. This works. Don't call move for move. Just call the action." And we got down to it. We called a great show. I got a chance to listen to what him and Daniel Alejandro did together, and honestly, there's a place for you. If you're hurt, there's a place for you. If you don't have the means to be a wrestler, you don't still love wrestling. There's a place for you in here. So don't think just because you can't get in the ring doesn't mean you can't quite do it.
There you go. That's how you spell it. Kenny, the night that I book Kendall Marie again, I'm going to bring you on with me as well. I do not believe that you have ever met her, and I believe that this young lady, as vast of a knowledge that she has, can help move you forward as well. Maybe if there's some questions that you need to ask or something like that, because I'm sure that was clearly what I was bringing you on for before Trey came in and got himself in a pickle with me. But now that we've got the pickle sliced in half and it's sitting to the side over here waiting on the sandwich to be fed, and everybody sits at my table and eats, and that includes Trey. So, and you, Kenny, and whoever else. So, if you want to be a pro wrestler, please seek out a credible school, man, because you're only going to get it right there and wrong somewhere else by some guy who's in the backyard named Dilly Dan or whatever you want to call him. Okay, that's just how we look at it. If you look over here in the far left-hand corner of this shoot right here, you'll see young Prince standing right there. He's got a crown on top of his head, cape on the back. That is Crazy Mo. Boys and girls, give Bobby Horn a message and see how you can get that print on a T-shirt or on an autograph. Okay, I mean it's very simple. Get it on a picture, man. My boys and girls, Southern Stream Wrestling, man, y'all keep killing it. You're doing a great job. Chaotic Kingdom, October 12th. This is lit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have your damn tickets for that show, I'm going to tell you right now that show is going to be one of the biggest shows on the independent level to ever hit Central Arkansas. Not your WWEs, not your AEWs, none of that. This will be the biggest show to ever hit Central Arkansas when we go live. This is lit in Cabot, Arkansas on October 12th. Go check out the Chaotic Kingdom fan page, man, on Facebook. They got your ticket hook up there. I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. Store Championship Wrestling, all my boys and girls. Love y'all, man. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, Trey. Keep doing what you're doing at Offshoots, man.
Tonight, we'll be live at 9 o'clock tonight, so tune in.
And keep doing what you're doing there, brother, because you're bringing a lot of smoke right along with me. And my followers and things have went up from yours, and I'm sure yours has went up from mine because now we're able to network between. And I hate that damn word network because it just reminds me.
Welcome to the family, Joey.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
Hey, if anything tonight, we got thing is, this past Saturday, the big news dropped that AEW let go of CM Punk. We're going to talk about on Offshoots TV tonight.
Dude, I'm probably going to have to tune in and check that one out.
Okay, fair enough. If you want to, I'll send you a link. You can join us on the show if you have the time for it.
All right, so, if I got time for it, brother, you're damn right. I want to get on there.
Yeah, but definitely join me, my buddy Michael McCurdy, my other buddy Tommy, of course Billy Hills out of Illinois, and Omega from South Texas. All five of us get together and we have a lot of fun with it. So once again, come join us 9 o'clock every Thursday, and that's all I got to say about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the man up in the top right hand corner that you're looking at, that's Kenny. That's Kenny Silva. We call him Kenny Resna. And the man is just like he's a resonation of the word official because he's still growing and he's still learning, and we love that. The man is getting really, really good at what he's doing, kind of like Candace Harding. Those two are really coming through on the forefront. Kenny, I'm going to get you back on, bud. Whenever I get Candace on, not Candace, but Kendall Marie, I'd like to probably try to get Candace on at the same time. That way I could
Yeah.
do a round table of officials. I think that would be really, really cool for that day for that podcast. Trey, again, up there at Offshoots TV, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're down south and west in Texas and you can't get to Carrollton in Texas and you want to be a pro wrestler, seek out my brother and his wife, Rodney Mack and Jazz at the Dog Pound Dojo, man. Can't go wrong there neither, man. Yeah, you already know, Kenny. Hand it out, son. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy Lynn with Kenny Silva with the Podfather Trey Mack. This has been the second row. We're going to itch out today, man. We will see y'all. Be looking for our stuff on Facebook, man. As we share this, we'll also be sharing out who's going to be on next as far as the specials and who's scheduled. Y'all just keep killing. We're doing what y'all doing every day. Remember, it's not how much water that sinks the ship. It's how the sink ship's in the water. Let that one marinate. Peace out.